If you've ever been to one of my live streams that I do on Friday nights, you will know that when people tip, it goes towards making me play a game from my backlog. And usually the viewers pick a game that is nightmarishly difficult because they like to watch me struggle. And this is 100% one of those games. Also, if you want to see a full playthrough of this, edited down into a highlight reel that I have to say is one of the funniest things I've ever done on this channel, you can check it out on my other channel, RNG Gaming. And it's Wanted Dead. This game came out to little fanfare. It was completely panned by critics, but it is acclaimed by so many just quote unquote elite gamers. Mark MSX from the Electric Underground heralded this game as being like one of the best games he played in years. And it is a modern cult classic. People say that it reminds them of these kind of janky PS2 games, like God Hand right here. I beat this game live on stream and I've never been so confused about my feelings on a game. So the story of this game makes very little sense and it's pretty much batshit crazy. You play as this hot German or Austrian police officer and who is also part cyborg and is also a felon for being a war criminal and committing atrocious acts. She's like hot but horrible, sexy but savage, cute but culpable? That works. And you were released from prison to fight crime. Now, what's going on in the whole crime fighting situation? Your guess is freaking as good as mine. I don't know what fighting crime is like in the future. I hope it's like this. But you're just beating up like robot drones and like shooting drug kingpins and construction workers and there's freaking ninjas and you chop people apart with chainsaws. That's what this game is. That's what this game is. Okay, it's crazy action movie stuff. All right. Now I have heard online that the reason this game doesn't make any sense is because the game just wasn't finished. And I'm sure that definitely attributes to the reason the game doesn't make any sense. But even the stuff that's there, even with more context, doesn't really make any freaking sense. They just threw the plot. It was written by a 12-year-old or something like that. Like, I don't even know how you come up with something like this if you have any sort of training in writing any sort of narrative. Now, the game looks fine. Like, the graphics are decent, the character models are decent, but it goes super framey when there's too much action on the screen. Like, it will slow down to like sub 10 frames per second kind of stuff, and it gets really choppy. It can cause you to take damage because the game's just lagging so badly. Now, the game soundtrack slaps super hard. It has everything from like technical death metal in it to like bubblegum pop to like Japanese idol pop. It also has a bunch of licensed 80s bangers on it, like 99 Luftballons and She Works Hard for the Money, which caused me to get several copyright claims on my live streams. Now, normally I talk about like the gameplay mechanics of a game and I lay out like what the different actions are you can do. I'm just gonna forgo that in this review because there's too much to talk about. I'm just gonna describe to you what it's like to actually play the game. So basically what you do is you watch like a 20-minute cutscene full of dialogue that has no bearing on anything whatsoever. It sounds like poorly translated garbage, possibly written by ChatGPT, okay? That was what people in my chat were saying. Did ChatGPT write this? There's like whole sections where the characters just tell jokes and talk about ramen. It has nothing to do with anything. Nothing. Just nothing. What are we, like what? You don't tell me the name of the bad guy or even show me the main bad guy in the game, but there's a 20-minute section of them complaining about ramen? Then it'll just drop you in the police station where you randomly walk around this gigantic building. Sometimes you'll just walk into a room and like a cutscene will happen to fill in the story. Or hell, you just pick up a collectible and like it'll cut to a cutscene of the main character like shooting some random guy in an apartment that has nothing to do with the game. Sometimes they are in-engine cutscenes, and sometimes they're just random anime clips, like hand-drawn freaking anime. Sometimes you'll pick up something and it'll send you into a mini game. Sometimes you have to like play a claw machine and like try to win a prize, or maybe you just have to sing karaoke for like 10 minutes. At one point, it made me play a 30-minute long spaceship shoot 'em up from beginning to end. I also got the 1 credit clear on it, by the way. Sometimes this stuff is optional, but mostly it's just kind of like forced on you. And that's about half of the game, is just this like random weird stuff outside the main gameplay loop of the game, which is weird. It's really dumb. It's stupid, it's terrible, and I kind of freaking love it. I love stuff like that. The main draw of this game is the combat. It's a third-person cover shooter and combo-based hack and slash. Kind of like Uncharted meets Ninja Gaiden. And it is super freaking hard. This game is so hard. I think it's one of the reasons it was panned so hard by the critics. The difficulty level is insane. When you do like combo attacks, it queues up your buttons, it buffer buttons. So if you hit like XXX square, your character will do like slash, 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 heavy slash, come hell or high water. Okay, you can't like really cancel out of it too easily. You have these blocks in this game, and there are like two types of blocks. There's the yellow ones, which you parry with your sword, and then there are these red attacks that you parry by shooting the enemy at the right time, kind of like you do on Bloodborne, and they are freaking tight. The windows on these are so tight, and the enemies love to do some crap where they will like wind up with a big like yellow attack, and then right before they swing, it turns red to like psych you out. So the button you were gonna use to parry is all of a sudden a different button. Another thing that happens in this all the time is that the enemies that are around like the area that you're not engaging with just shoot at you all the time. You're trying to like combo some ninja and some dude off the screen is just like shooting you in the back with a gun. So you're always taking chip damage. There's no point in this game where something isn't just kind of like damaging you all the time. It reminds me of like Dark Souls when you're in the poison swamp and you're just poisoned and you don't have any kind of antidote to get over the poison, so you're just trying to play the game while your health's just like slowly draining down. Wanted Dead is like that all the time. You also have these healing vials in the game, and you can only carry like I think a maximum of 4 of them at a time, and they are super freaking limited. Only like elite enemies drop them. I don't know of any way to buy them. You can't pick them up anywhere else. They're just very limited. Also, in each stage, you get basically 1 revive. So if you get taken out, one of your teammates will revive you, if that teammate happens to be in this section of the stage. So really, you can only heal a handful of times in any given level. And getting hit in this game, I mean, if you screw up once, just a basic hit from an enemy will take like 75% of your health. It's a very methodical and precise style hack and slash, which is crazy because everything around the game is not methodical and not precise. It's wacky and off the wall and zany, and it's just going like full out, like pedal to the metal, just 10 out of 10 at all times, and then it requires this real delicate, precise timing. It's just a strange dichotomy. There's also a really crappy camera that loves to just rotate into these sort of cinematic views at the wrong time, and a lot of times you'll be blocked by the terrain and it's just hard to see. It's just general bad camera crap. Enemies will spawn behind you in like an area you've already cleared and know is empty, and they'll just like come out of nowhere and just hit you. And there's no way to prepare for it. There's no way to know that's gonna happen other than just taking the damage. The enemies in this game love to spam grenades, and when they throw a grenade at you, it always hits you directly in your body and explodes immediately. But when you throw a grenade at an enemy, it takes like 5 seconds for it to detonate, and they will all dodge frame perfect out of the way at the last second. All that crap is fine. That's fine. It's janky. People said it was janky. It's like a janky PS2 game, and it is janky. But let me tell you where it all goes wrong. Take every reasonable amount of each aspect of the game design. Get that idea in your head right now. Think about it, and then multiply it by 3. How many hits to kill an enemy? Multiply that by 3. How many enemies are in each combat encounter? Multiply that by 3. How many combat encounters do you go through before you reach a checkpoint? Multiply that by 3. Do you think 5 minutes between checkpoints is fair? 10 minutes? No, it's more like 15 to 40 minutes between checkpoints in this game. What's a normal level length for a game? What are you thinking? Like maybe 30 minutes? Nah, man, multiply that by 3. We're talking 90 minutes, 2 hours, something like that. There are only 5 stages in this game, and it's over 10 hours long. How many frames do you have to block an attack? Divide that by 3. It's just like the designers took all the sliders of the difficulty of this game and just maxed them out in every direction. And this is a perfect example of why a developer can really hurt their own game. They just did not understand what was a reasonable expectation of the gamer. And this isn't like Ninja Gaiden Sigma, where it's relying on you to be a good gamer. This game's just unfair. The game was so hard when it released, they had to patch it to make it easier, and then people complained about that, so they repatched it to make it even harder, which is the version I played. I got stuck on a boss and could not take this boss down. I spent hours working on this one boss, so I went online to watch a walkthrough, and guess what? The walkthrough was different than the combat encounter I had. The version I was playing had extra phases that wasn't in the walkthrough. I looked online at guides from like IGN about how to beat this boss, and they were talking about stuff that didn't even exist in the game. They changed the boss encounters. They patched it to make it more unfair. In the original version of this boss fight, you just fight the boss with about 5 enemies around him. You take out the 5 smaller enemies, you take him down in the first phase by comboing him and blocking his attacks, then he goes into phase 2 where you shoot him. In the version I played, you fight 20 enemies before he even comes down into the combat arena. The whole time he's spamming grenades at you. After a certain time limit, depending on how many enemies you've taken down or not taken down, he comes down and he just starts bum rushing you everywhere you go. And while you're trying to fight the other enemies, he just shoots you with a gun from a distance. So you're always taking chip damage. It is bullcrap. And this is why so many people hate this game. The balance is some of the worst I have ever seen. And playing the same 20-minute long section 7 times because some butthole shoots you through the wall with a freaking rocket launcher. You can't shoot him, but he can shoot you is bullcrap. Or your own freaking teammate just throws a grenade at you out of nowhere and blows you up. Or a ninja spawns in behind you in an alley you've already cleared and stabs you from off camera and you don't even know he's there. All those things happen to me and cause me to have to waste hours of my life. It's very disappointing. But the framework of the combat is so good. And if it had been tweaked and fixed and just straightened out, it could have been some of the best combat we've ever had in a 3D hack and slash game. It really does feel like an overly difficult and janky PS2 game. And that's exactly the kind of game I like, but they just don't nail it in Wanted Dead. They went too far with the difficulty elements that make the game irritating and not challenging. If I can kill 10 of the exact same enemy in a row, I can kill 30 of the exact same enemy in a row. But what they don't realize is that no one wants to do that. 10 is enough. I don't need to do 30 to prove myself. The game's just too padded, it's too long, it's just too much. It's just too much. Still, I think it's a good game. It's a good game and it's a bad game. There were times I was having a great time with Wanted Dead, and there were times I really wanted to quit. Still, I've never played anything like it, and I did have a good time playing it. Even with all its faults, I do think that Wanted Dead qualifies as a modern, janky cult classic. It's a good game. Wanted Dead is a 6 out of 10.